What's up? I'm Perfect World International, all that good stuff. My day's going pretty good, hopefully yours is. You can always leave a comment on that if you wish. In the hardest times, what it is, no matter what it is, it seems to be hard for you at that time. Do you have what it takes to make it through? No matter upon what it is that happens to face you. Do you have support that helps you? Do you not? Are you one that's for that? You do not need such things. For not all need support from others for particular things. Are you one that does? Through the hard times. Might be wise if it is that you are one that knows if it is that you do. Regardless if it is personal growth, your business, or whatever it is that you happen to pursue. Through the hard times, you must have something that gives you strength in those times. Maybe that inspires you. Maybe something that gives you courage to do when all others would back down. For them, this hard time is too much for them. Whatever it may be, or what easy struggle you might see, is a harder one for another, regardless what you think happens to be. You can think that it's easy, but for another it can be far from easy. But through times like this, do you have things that can guide and help you with this? Do you have things to make it easy? To make it seem as if to all others around you it is easy? Regardless of the circumstance that happens to be around, there's hardly any, if any at all, as far as doubt of how far you will get. What it is you wish to project. How it is that you wish to perceive. What it is in your life you wish to receive. Through the hard times that the struggle is real. For many, this thing that I speak of that kind of time. For them, it is not, by any means, a fun time. But do you have what it is that can help you? What it is that you need it to help you? If it is that you do not, how far do you wish to get? If it is you think you will not have a time that is hard. Many times, if you think that, life will remind you that it is hard. Do you have points of interest that help you because you go or orient yourself in these points of interest. If it is, you get what I mean by that. Things that even through the hard times, you expect that. Nothing less, it is what it is you pursue. Regardless upon what it is that tries to stop you. What it is, it happens to be the hard time you happen to view. It is not something that someone that is meek is easily able to get through. Do you have one? Maybe you can help by the knowledge that is known by you. Or maybe the practical implications of what it is. Through the hard times, maybe you can explain something for what it is. Maybe an experience. That another can learn. Merely from your experience. Through the hard times, when it is that you see nothing but what it is that is opposite of what it is you wish. How is it that you would be able to conquer this? If it is that you have no points of interest. Points of interest are places you wish to achieve, or places in your life you wish to be. So, through a hard time, do you still try to get that? In that hard time? It's not gonna be all easy every day of your life. In these hard times, you must have something that gives you something to push through. Point of interest, of where it is you wish to be, and whatever it is that is important to you. Simple thing you can do. What are these points of interest? Personal, business, or possible prospects of what it is you could do for business. Or prospects upon what it is you wish to try. In a situation, what is your final goal you wish to see if it is you can think of that situation? Whatever it may be. The more you can describe it, the easier for that will be you achieve. If you can almost taste and smell it, how much easier will you know when it is you have it? And how much more would it be that you would crave it? Enough to where it is even within your subconscious. You try to achieve it within your subconscious. Through these hard times, things to think of. Whatever it may be. For some, your hard time may seem simple for them, but they are not the one that happens to be in the situation that you happen to see. So you happen to be one that is in one now. Do you know what it is you wish to see with that situation now? If it is that it is very vague, you need to start thinking a little more big. Describe it to the T. Down to the point where you have to dot your I. The more you can do that, the easier it is. For it is. You know exactly upon what it is you wish. Points of interest. Important when you think of things like this. In this situation, describe the exact outcome you wish. Whatever it may be. Not, oh, they're just successful with no. More than that. Describe it exactly as if it's happening before you. There's a lot of power in that if you do that. Because now, subconsciously, especially if you chose to write it and read it multiple times while it is you face the situation, your body and everything else will try to make that situation. So, this point of interest. Through the hard time. Can you pay attention to this point of interest? Hard to achieve what it is you do not exactly know what it is you wish to achieve. You must know to the fullest you can for what it is you wish to achieve. But how is it that these kinds of things can be achieved? Must have something that helps you believe. Something that you have internalized. Whatever it may be, your belief of being successful in everything you see, and nothing else can ever or could be. It could be something just as simple as that, but it has to be bigger than that hard time that happens to be that. Of course, beliefs go with that as well. Like, how do you feel about yourself? Just as well. Do you feel that you can achieve this? Do you need guidance or someone to lean on when it is at that point you cannot achieve this? Some people, that is something that they need. Many examples of this can be seen. No shame in such things. Just means you have not been there, done that. Do not have the knowledge on to truthfully on how to do that. But to listen to someone who does, that is a wise decision. To know upon who it is that actually knows how it is you wish to achieve what it is that you actually wish to achieve. But if it is that you think for any second that you are not able to do things, you have failed to realize one simple and powerful fact. If you can think about it, you can do that. Whatever it is you wish to achieve. Do not think that it is impossible to achieve. Because it is not. Does that matter upon what it is? Upon this spot. Do the hard times when it is that it may be that you feel you cannot do something. Never let anyone or anything tell you you cannot do something. For if it is you do such things as that, what kind of power is found in that? For if it is that you happen to start have failed, double check upon the fact what is you may have failed. Can you describe what it is you wish to achieve? Down to the part where you cross your T's and you dot your I's. If it is this, why do you think you do not see it with your eyes? It's fairly simple. You do not know the exact event that you wish to see in the end. How is it that you could achieve what it is you wish to achieve if you do not fully know what upon it is you wish to achieve? There are impossible things that you are capable of doing, just so you know. But you must believe and fully know. You cannot rely on another for achieving such things like this for you. Do you really expect another to achieve something for you? Yes, to lean upon them and your lack of understanding of what it is to do, or not knowing upon what strength that they reveal that is within you. But to doubt yourself. In this hard time, why do you think you're going to get anything? Hmm? You must believe. You must be able to fully see what it is that is the end result, what it is you wish to see. In a hard time, what it is, you may not know exactly what it is you see. What happens if you can see past it? To where, regardless, you end up getting past it. Hmm? May take you more than one attempt. Just ask the ones that have done extraordinary things beyond what it is that you believe might be possible. Something similar you'll find within them. They believe they could accomplish the impossible. Like I heard this story once about someone that lifted a whole helicopter off of someone when the helicopter landed on them. Hmm. Or people all of a sudden in moments like that are able to lift or do things that no other time could they ever do, and they can never produce again. That is proof of impossible things that can be done. So why cannot not be applied upon the goals you wish to have done? Do you think those people that were trying to save their friend were thinking that it was impossible? Or did they only think, I must do this? Major difference. Is it not? There are very many things that have been achieved that people cannot explain. So with your success of whatever it is you wish to be successful, why cannot not be true about what it is you wish to be successful? Have you ever take a few seconds to ponder that? during a hard time. Why would you not ponder that? Instead of looking at the situation, not realizing that you can pass it, regardless what it is. If it is that you see past what it is. But you must know fully for the result you wish. How else can you make this be? Make what it is that is internal, show, external, and for it to be. Is it hard to understand that? In the current situation you happen to be in, is it an easy or a hard one? Which one? To you, at least. The end result, do you know what it is you wish to see? Exactly. No question. If it is you know, what do you think your body and subconscious will start to try to accomplish? Hmm? If it is you don't know, how far do you think that will go? For real. Just think about that. No, I'm gonna be successful in this, but you can't describe it to the exact T of what it is. Down to the point that you can see it as if it is happening right in front of you. Enough that if you were to tell someone, they could get a picture exactly what it is that's supposed to happen. Fairly simple to understand now, is it not? That can happen within your situation. Can it not? You can start by doing this, by setting goals. These are things that start to help you to do this. Once it is that you start doing that, then you know, after a while, exactly what it is you wish with that. And upon the time, the more you do it, the more efficient. No matter the situation, you already know the result at the end of that situation that you wish to see, down to where it is you can describe to another exactly how it will be. But through the hard times, there are other things required. Things that may help, inspire. What kind of courage is it that you show? If you were to rate it, and compare it to what another thinks you show, Between 1 and 10, what would it be that you would show? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Now what level of resolve is it that you have? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. During diversity, how well do you cope with it? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How motivated are you? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How relentless are you in this pursuit? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Depending on these answers, it would be why it is either A. Before that, you could not answer, or you could. What about your confidence? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What about your self-discipline? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What about your perception of how it is you feel about yourself? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What about the way that you think another perceives you as far as all 3 of those? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How is it about those do you feel? Now, ask a simple question. Do you, with that very last one, do you number that lower? The last three. But how much lower, if it is you do? The more numbers that are separated, the more you are dependent upon what it is another thinks of you. You crave the other people's acceptance. Now, I'll ask a question as far as this. Two questions, actually. Do you honestly think this influences your success? One being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Now, for the second one. How much do you think this truthfully matters to you? One being the lowest, 10 being the highest. If it is you answered that honestly, you particularly are ones that in groups you're more successful. Or you're one that would prefer to have one to lean on when it is that you need to. Now, if there's ones that answered the opposite, you are completely self-reliant or reliant. Good to know information such as this, is it not? Each person's personality is slightly different. It's not a bad thing. Just means you gotta utilize that kind of thing properly. Now, that set aside, what other things in the hard times could it be that you might need? Do you need something that helps guide you through the hard time? Enough to where you know or can find out what to do in the hard time? Are you one that just automatically have that ingrained upon how it is you are? By maybe the way you were raised or just how you have learned and how it is you are? Are you one that maybe needs guidance on this? You're not exactly sure? Good things to know as well. Are you one that's willing to put in the work? Because in the hard time, you'll be putting in a lot of work. If it is that you actually wish to achieve in this situation you happen to be, do you have something that helps you in maybe understanding what it is you might need? Do you have some kind of general idea? It'd be wise if it is you would find out. The more resources and other things to deal with that situation, to be in the best and the end of that situation. What about control over your emotions? Not very nice. Not very easy either. To have your emotions control what it is that will be. Just because you do not keep them in check. To ensure you can see what it is you wish to see. In the situation that you currently see. Not saying it's easy. Never did, never will. Everyone has their moments, but when it is you know you have such moments, how can you learn from it? To where it takes longer for you to become or submit to it. The more you gain control of your emotion and what it is you project with your emotion, the easier, the best decision can you make. Not saying that certain ones do not require certain ones. But if it is, you allow it to to blind your judgment, then can you truthfully say it was a good judgment? Because if it is that you see a situation that you happen to be in, and you act a certain way, you will not see that opportunity because you were blind to see. You have the comprehension upon what it is you see. Not always easy. To understand. The more you happen to understand, the more rash or unrash decision you may make. If it is you just don't understand, how can you properly make a decision on something you do not understand? Cannot make a proper decision if it is you do not know what you're looking at to make the decision. And because of the frustration of the fact that you do not understand, your reaction may be, do you seek clarity upon what it is that you're trying to achieve? Or how it is that you wish to be? Can you see it clearly? As if it stands before you clearly. Does it make you get happy or get butterflies when it is that you think of it? Or is it something less than that when you think of it? Is it something that gives you a feeling when it is you're doing that is able to withstand anything that anyone else is doing to you regardless upon what it is? That makes you happy, and with your actions and other things you prove for what it is? Do you find and feel joy when it is you think of this? Well, it looks like I need to take an intermission. Be a great time for you to do so as well. You can always take this time to think of comments or anything else such as that. I'll take time to answer them if there are any. I'll also say that Inspirations of a Gamer is available on music distributors under GamingWithNac, Inspirations of a Gamer. Joy when it is that you don't know the situation, as hard as it is, to be able to do this, regardless what it is you see in the midst of whatever it is. A joy that most could never comprehend. What kinds of things can you accomplish if you have this from the start to the end? Even when it is that one is not nice. Not always easy to play nice. But a joy that makes it to where most know that you're nice. What kinds of means to your ends can this joy get wherever it is you wish to go with your ends? As far as your endeavor, whatever it is, to show a joy even when one is trying to make it to where you do not. What kind of strength does that show in that spot? You're the one that decides if you have it or not. So why not show for what it is that you have and got? You're the only one that decides if one affects this such joy I speak of. Even in the midst of your enemies, why not show this joy, even being attacked by your enemies? As much as you can, of course. Not always easy to show that kind of emotion, why it is. Taking it unabundantly and giving it and sharing it with ones that deserve to have it shared with. Would you not enjoy if someone else shared their joy? It's not that hard to deploy. Many may think that it is. For in truth, it really is. Not the easiest task to accomplish. To show the joy that you share with another. Even if it is not deserved by this other. Would you not like the cup of joy to overflow and let it to the world to show? What good does it do you if it is that there is no joy within you? For whatever it is, even if there is background noise, so others may not see what it is, or understand where it comes from. Things like this, only from the inside can it come from. Not the easiest of tasks, to say the least. To share it with the highest and the least. No matter upon who it is you think or what you have determined their rank is compared to you. Well, that's kind of a little bit of pride showing through you, but we'll leave that alone for now. We're speaking about joy right now. So, no matter upon how it is that these individuals do let this joy be seen, or is it something that is not? For a lot of your results that you get is by the joy that you are able to share, ways that you can show upon the fact that you care. Not always the easiest thing to do when there are nothing but enemies in the midst of you. Maybe if it is not, in truth, the actual view. Many times you may think one for you is against you. Just depends on if it is a joy that you are one that's able to do such things and deploy. But of course, this kind of thing is not a toy. To misuse. Ones you'll notice if they choose to abuse. At that point, do you still show this joy that is within you to ones that they happen to abuse such things as this? Not always the wisest thing to do. But of course, this kind of thing is up to you. Of course, if you can show a joy to one that maybe there is no other that they see with any other one. What kinds of things with that relationship can be done? How many battles could you have won? Instead of being mean at showing a joy which is within, that all you have to do is think. And that feeling begins. The joy of you're still able to do as it is you do. Joy that someone maybe particularly cares about you. Maybe a joy in what it is that you can do. Or seeing a smile as it is one looks at you. Or maybe the way one might show googly eyes. Never know, is that joy within their eyes? Or is it other things, such as, like, despise? Or is it something entirely different that is within their eyes? But to share it with another, maybe communicate how it is you feel, about what it is you've seen or encountered. Another way to show upon the joy you have encountered. Overwhelming feeling of happiness, almost enough to make all things that are negative go away. It's when you get everything you wish from whatever the situation in that day, or you happen to make someone's day. It's not always easy to think this way, though. Many get distracted by things that can make their thought of joy be distracted. But if it is, you focus for long enough, how much from this joy can you get? A joy, and maybe in what it is that you do. Maybe it's something that you enjoy to do. Beyond all other things that you could ever do. It's a feeling that is decided only by you. And you're the one that decides if one can take it and share it with you. But the question is, as far as that, what is it that you will do? Even when it may be hard in your efforts. With joy, how much more and how much farther can you get? If it is that something you already have, as far as the joy that helps you do what it is you do every day, no matter what it is, upon this day. Very hard task. Even when one's trying to make you think the opposite. It's not always easy. In fact, a lot of times it is far from easy. But it's a good thing to learn. To be able to outlast another as far as the way you feel about yourself and another. The joy that you show to another. What is the source of your joy that you show to that other? Is it something they can comprehend? Is it something they cannot? And if that is the case, how could they dare try to take it from you in this spot? I'm back after my intermission, all that good stuff. So these hard times you might be facing, do you have any answers on how you can deal with this issue that you might be facing? Whatever it may be. You don't have to be defensive. If it is something you actually wish to change,
You are the one that chooses if it remains the same. Through the hard times, do you wish to have the same result through the next situation that you happen to face? If it is that you choose not to change, then these things, they will remain the same. Are you not willing to start something new? By renewing what it is that is within you. And renew this, and what it is you project will be new as well because you have chosen to do this. Were you willing to answer any question? Were you not? Were you defensive or offensive in this spot? Which one was it? Did you think that maybe I had no right to ask you that? If no one but me does, then who will? Do you wish to continue to have your results to be ill? In this hard time, why would it be that you are choosing to have a hard time? If it is you do not know what it is you need to change, then how do you expect a different result and question why it is the same? So which was it? The offensive or defensive stance? As far as what I said, I'm sure you have, as far as what you thought, with your stance. Do you know which one it is? Were you defensive and you didn't wish to answer? Were you offensive? How dare you ask me for this, for me to answer? Or did you act neither of these? So which do you wish to see? To change the situation you're currently facing? But maybe not in your favor. Or do you accept it, regardless if it is in or against your favor? Are you willing to take and dig deep upon who it is you are? Or do you try to run away and hide far? Are you denying who it is that you are?
through these tough times, how is it you would be if it was this that you were? These situations that, for you, may be hard. For another, they may not. A very simple situation can be, for some, harder than others in this spot. Are you gonna run from it? Or are you gonna boldly stand? Are you going to refuse to get information that can help you to stand? Are you not going to learn maybe the skills you need to achieve upon what it is you feel that you need? Tough times, they come and go. You never know if it's gonna be easy or another tough one will show. Do you have the resilience? Or do you not? If it is, you were defensive or offensive in the previous. Very simple question. How do you expect your result to be any different than the previous? You are denying what it is that you need to change. And that is why your result remains the same. Now, if it is that you have an attitude, it does not matter what it is that stands before you. For you will destroy and conquer everything that stands before you. That is something totally different than not trying. Very simple principle. Multiple sources. I've taught these principles. Not but just one. Far more than just one. So, how many questions did you answer? Or did you make an excuse why it is you would not answer? What is it that you wish to achieve? For whatever it is, can you see? So, in these hard times, will it be that your effort, because of your lack and unwillingness to put in effort, will this be a result of why it is this success you do not see? Or will it be something else? In these tough times, you can show that you have a source that is above and beyond such things as this.
things that can help guide you in such things as this. Beyond the comprehension of ones that could not understand such things as this. Not always easy. But of course, life is not always easy. Some situations that you will see will be simple, and for what it is you should do is very plainly seen. For others, you may not. Are you willing to accept what it is that you need to change? Or will you be offensive? Or will you be defensive? Why it is, these are things you do not need to change. Or will it be that you do neither? For you have accepted and know what it is you need to change, so there's no need to do either. In these tough times, you learn. No matter if it is you realize that you have learned. But if it is you wish to actually be successful, you must first understand why it is you're not being successful. Until you can understand this, how is it? Can you affect this? You must first acknowledge upon the fact in that situation what you might have learned, or if you have one similar, what it is you must do different. Unless you wish to have the same result and it is not different. Life is an experience that you learn from, isn't it? Or do you just carry on expecting these great results but no work to get it? Why do you think in any means would you get it? That is how it is that you stand. Are these things that you just do not understand? Why? Why is it that you do not try? I've seen multiple friends of mine be in the same mistake when all they had to do is change one thing. But because they did not see the folly in this just one thing, they are friends that no longer do I see.
Or I've even watched ones when it is I started to ask upon what it is they wanted to do. And after hearing there's something I happen to say to one particular, they're like, oh, I could never do that in particular. But yet, from what it is that I heard, they could. Back when I first tried to be a voice actor, there was someone that their voice reminded me of a professional actor. As far as the voice acting, that is. In fact, I imagined him within a cartoon. It made me kind of laugh because of the way he liked to talk. And I told him, you know what? You could do this if you wanted. You know what it is, he said. No, I couldn't. I can't do things like that. For me, that's not even possible. No one would listen to what it is I do with my voice act. Never even gave it a try. Of course. Also, though, that guy was not doing anything. He had not chosen his profession and his craft. So he was not doing anything. The possibilities were endless. That is slightly different, though. If it is, you've already started doing what it is. That is a totally different thing. Like what I'm doing right now. I have a very specific lane that I'm in. If I do anything other, I am changing lanes. I am doing something that I should not be. Because it is not my lane. Are these things that, as well, during these tough times, are you paying attention to what somebody is doing in another lane? If you don't understand what it is, I mean, like me doing this motivational poetry thing I do and all of this. Now, just a small example with this. Say there was someone that, a dentist, tried to tell me how to do what it is I'm doing. Do you think I would listen to them? They're a dentist. Are they not? I'm a motivational poetry speaker guy. That's not his lane to be telling me what to do. Or how to do it. Right. Well, you don't try to tell a football player how to play if you're a basketball player, do you? You don't try to tell somebody that does artwork how to do something if you're a production worker or something, do you? No,
that is not within your lane. Is it? Now, if another motivational speaker told me something, that would be something entirely different. But of course, also within the craft of that, though. If they're a normal one that has no rhyming that they do, or rhythmic speaking, as it is they do, as it is they do, why would I be willing to listen? Without taking a grain of salt. As it is, I listen. But they are closer to what it is that would be in my lane. You're right. Does that make any sense? So in these hard times, are you listening to someone that is not even within your lane or close to your lines? These are things that can stunt and stop you as well. Or if, for example, just me, if a teacher were to, how would it be that I would address that? Considering what I do, if you have listened to anything I have done, that is that. Closer to my lane than its lines, is it not? Not always easy to understand why it is someone that has a lane that is their own try to tell you how it is to do what it is that is your own. Is it? Does it mean you cannot expand upon what it is you do? Does it mean that not new things you might try to do? It might be close, similar in certain ways, but it does not mean that you do not stay in your lane. And continue to do what you have done from the start. For why would it be that you would change what it is you do and have done from the start? Unless it is that it is not working. If it is you're making mistakes in the situation, Of course, the situation that I speak of is the decisions that you make. Not simple ones, but the hard ones. Not ones that pertain to what it is that is your profession or your craft. If it is, you have already chosen and established your craft. For that, these are things that have to remain. But I am more speaking to ones that have not tried at all. But also, if it is that you were to expand, there's one thing that you always have to keep in mind when it is that you choose to expand. The thing that you started with is always priority. Nothing less, nothing more. It takes all importance. Nothing else can ever take any more importance. To do otherwise, you change the horse you rode in on. You waste a lot of time if it is you change the horse you rode in on. In case you do not know what I mean. Motivational poetry that inspires the mind. What it is I'm doing right now is something that I will always do. And it is priority. Just like my normal game content as well. Anything else takes second. Does it matter upon what it is? Because this is what I have already established. This is the foundation of what it is I do. The only thing I can do is build upon it, not change, and try to build something else. So through the hard times, when it is you do not know what it is that you should do in these hard times. As far as your business, or what it is that you wish to accomplish, personal or anything else as far as growth, what kind of foundation have you made? Will you build upon it? Or will there be one made at all? So, in these tough times, do you know what it is you need to change to be stronger in these tough times? Or do you not? For the only way you can endure a tough time is if you become stronger to endure this tough time. What is it you need to fix? If you're not willing to acknowledge that, how do you expect to get any result? If you cannot notice, how can you change things you have not noticed? With the situation that you happen to be facing right now, can you see what it is you wish to see? So much so, you can describe it with words or writing it down. So much so that if another person were to look at it or hear it, they would be able to see it just as you do. If you cannot describe it in that way, you have a very slim chance. Unless it is you are persistent. That doesn't mean that's exactly what you're gonna get. But if is a big word, by the way. If you were to get what it was that you wanted out of that situation, what would it be? Is there more than one possible answer to that? If you can describe that, so much so that you can see it, then all you need to do is declare it. And the actions, as long as you have truthfully internalized it, will start trying to manifest or be produced because of the fact that your subconscious and your body is aware of it now. That's like these ones that I spoke of that did these incredible deeds, that were able to lift things and do things to save their friends or family. Physically impossible, but yet they did it. They seen themselves doing it. You can do things you do not know you can. If it is, you see it in your mind and confirm it. And then, with your body, continue to confirm it. Next time you're in a situation, I give you a challenge. Regardless what it is. As far as the bad, whatever that situation may be, declare the opposite. Out loud. I dare you. And continue to declare it. See what happens. Hmm? Now, compare that to when it is that you have declared that that is so, out loud about yourself, and see what happens. Now, there are multiple ways to say this, but the actions that follow either A are demonstration. Another way to say that is it manifests, which pretty much the same thing. It becomes so by your belief it is so. A physical manifestation of your faith in the situation, which is a demonstration. And actually, technically speaking, I wish to mention something. That particular word, faith, have you ever actually paid attention? I dare you. In one particular, that I try to not involve in this, because I'm not trying to be that kind of teacher particularly, but in every using of that word, pay attention very carefully. Saying it, what it is they believe was not what was required with that. It was what? Actions by you are by your faith you are able to accomplish anything? Hmm? Amongst a few other things, but I'm not getting into that because that is not my lane. But that aside, it is a demonstration with your actions. Not just by your words. For words without are what? If it is that you have done any studying in that. So, all these questions you might have asked. all these ones that you might have answered. Will there be any actions? Or are they something that is empty? Hmm? So through these hard times, what it is, that difficult situation happens to be in front of you in those times. What do you need? What do you believe that you can accomplish? If it is that you might think that you are not strong enough to do it alone, what source do you use, which there are multiples that have taught the same thing? Do you use to give you that strength when it is that you need that particular strength at that time? Hmm? Within the basic principle, not speaking of anything other, just so you're aware, never was, not my lane. But anyway, the basic principle. Hmm? Of what it is that you need to do to be able to make the right decision for the next possible and current decision. Hmm? So through these tough times, what are these particular things I might have asked? You need to be aware of it. If it is that you are not, you might want to do a little bit of searching on that. Because if it is that you don't, how do you think you can make it through a hard time? If it is you choose and don't, no matter the situation that is in front of you. Hmm? Do you really think you would be successful if you do not use this to think? Well, that looks like all the time I have for now. So, until next time.